Hello, this is the tradesight stock market preview for the week beginning January 21st, that's a Monday, and ending January 25th, that's a Friday, 2013. We're going to look at the indices and talk about economic data and just our general guidance and roadmap for the week here for the U.S. stock market. Monday is a U.S. bank holiday. All markets are closed, so we won't be trading. Our reports will begin for Tuesday. Tuesday is the first day back from an options expiration, which was Friday, so it's usually a little slow, plus a little slow coming with people coming back from the holiday week. So I'd expect Tuesday to be a little light, and every week we like to pick one thing to focus on. There really isn't any key economic data or options expiration or Fed meeting or anything to focus on this week, but we are still wrapping up. We're in the last leg of the core 8 days of earnings here in the U.S. Started last Tuesday, and it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then you've got the Friday and Monday where earnings are a little light. In this case, Monday's closed for the holiday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, again ending in a lot of earnings on Wednesday and Thursday in particular, with Microsoft wrapping it up Thursday after the close. So markets trade a little bit differently during this environment, as we always try to get people to focus on, and a lot of news and rumor-driven stuff, gaps from the earnings, although it hasn't been too bad, as everything's pretty much been in line based on estimates. So again, market can be a little slow while those earnings kind of roll out, but we'll see what happens from here. Now let's talk about the economic data that's coming out during the week, and I'll show you right here. This is just on the U.S. side. We've got no data on Monday, obviously, with the markets closed. Tuesday, we've got existing home sales, not a big deal. Wednesday, the MBA mortgage index and housing price index, not a big deal. Thursday, initial and continuing jobless claims. We do have leading indicators that can at least get the market's interest sometimes on Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's 30 minutes into the stock market. And then natural gas and crude inventories, and then on Friday, new home sales. So not a big deal there either. So we're not expecting much this week in terms of economic data that we have to carve our way through. It should be just a very straightforward week, except for the earnings. Might be a little light on volume until Thursday. I would expect that Thursday would be the better trading day of the week, as we're kind of wrapping up all those earnings, and because there are so many of them on Thursday. Let's look at the indices here real quick, just to give you an idea, overview of where we are at. Here's the S&P, and again, we had focused on this breakout on the S&P, which is a real nice pattern to break out of, but we had gotten the 13 seeker sell signal back here, and we mentioned, what was going to win the battle, the strength of the pattern or the seeker sell signal itself. And as you can see, actually, based on Friday's close, that's pink risk line right there from the seeker. We've closed above it in a very short order. Remember, when you get a risk line off of the seeker and it breaks fairly quickly, it often leads to a pretty big move. So confirmation here would be another move higher, not with a gap in the morning, but even a gap down and a push up would be better. That actually could accelerate into quite a move off of this setup. Now, the Nasdaq side is a little different. Here's a look at the NDX, and here we've only got 11 bars towards the 13 on the seeker sell signal, so we could easily end up with a seeker sell signal in the next couple of days. Matter of fact, yeah, we got our 12 today when I go into projection mode on Friday, so we could get the 13 as the next bar up would basically be the 13. At this point, if we got to a new high right there over that 2750 area. Again, so the S&P's got a 13, but it seems to be shaking it off potentially. The question is, what will the Nasdaq side do? Nasdaq side's pattern is not nearly as good as the S&P side is, because you're not breaking the new highs. But overall, I still think we've got a lot of strength here in this market, it feels like, and with the earnings behind, and there's no real disappointments, and maybe some movement out of Congress in terms of getting past the debt ceiling issue. I think there's a lot of room for the market to sort of run here. So it's going to be interesting to see how this battle of the seeker signals, the seeker sell signals versus the market plays out. Let's take a quick look at the biotechs as well. This one's forming a cup and handle formation. I think that's interesting. A breakout over 1550 there would be huge. Meanwhile, the SOX index, as we've pointed out before, now breaking out as well. It also had a 13 sell signal on the seeker just 5 days ago, and within 3 days has broken through that level pretty heavily and is now breaking out on the chart. So again, a lot more evidence here that the strength of these constructive cup and base formations are winning the battle over something like the seeker right here, and that's fine. Again, as long as market direction intraday, we stick with that. If it's green, a lot of chance for a lot of stocks to make big moves if we get some volume in the market when the market is at this point. And finally, let's take a quick look also at oil, just so we know where that's headed. And as you can see, inching back up. Going to be a wall up there, that green static trend line around 100. That would be a battle if we got up there. Should also point out that gold also inching back up, potentially forming a cup there. So that's a look at the week ahead. Again, I'm not sure exactly what to expect. I'm not expecting the best of all weeks. Tuesday will probably be late. Fridays are always late, a little later. So Wednesday and Thursday are the best potential. I'm going to focus even more on Thursday. But we don't have any options unraveling or any of that type of stuff. So it's just going to be purely based on whatever happens in the market without that type of economic news. I think it's also funny that Apple, if you're ever looking for an example of what a stock strike price does on options expiration in terms of pegging the stock to a certain price, Apple's last print on Friday was 500 exactly. So I think that's pretty interesting. Everybody have a great trading week and a great long weekend. We will see you Tuesday.